Ladies and gentlemen, may I welcome you as Thessaloniki's Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We will have a chance to receive very important news and details from international organization at the moment about immigration. Shortly, Διεθνής Οργανισμός Μετανάστευσης στα ελληνικά. Θα έχουμε την ευκαιρία να ακούσουμε τις κυρίες και τους κυρίους που εκπροσωπούν το Διεθνή Οργανισμό Μετανάστευσης, που θα μας παρουσιάσουν όσα έχετε δει εν συντομία στην παρουσίαση που σας έχει ήδη γίνει διαδικτυακά. It was shortly in Greek for our attendees, so I would like to give the floor to all of you to present what you would like to share with us, as we consider that it will be a very fruitful web meeting for all of us that will open floor to all of us in order to keep up. And we, as Thessaloniki's Chamber of Commerce and Industry, we would like to encourage each one of you to come closer to our facilities, and especially come closer to your organization, for a fruitful deal and collaboration. Thank you very much, Mrs. Angelidou.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moraitidis. Now we'll give the floor to Mr. Gvilava. Lado, the floor is yours for a welcome speech.
Thank you, Mr. Konstantinos. Colleagues, good afternoon, and very warm welcome to all of you. It is my particular pleasure and honor for my colleagues to be here among all of you, to the leading entrepreneurs, industry leaders, the commercial sector representatives for this that is having vital role in Thessaloniki's economic landscape. Today's session is more than an informal event. It is an important step towards strengthening our cooperation with the Greek government, with the private sector. And our goal is very simple: to build meaningful, effective, long-standing cooperation with the business world in Thessaloniki and beyond, of course, in Greece. And this is a very good opportunity for all of us to contribute into the local economic growth and innovation and opportunities for the people of Greece. Just allow me briefly to share a little bit some small information: who we are, what we do, what are our mandates. The International Organization for Migration was founded in 1951, initially to support resettlement of the displaced people after World War II. Over the decades, IOM has evolved into the world's leading UN agency managing migration, with operations in more than 170 countries. Our mandate is very clear: to ensure human and orderly migration and protect and assist migrants in need, those ones especially that are in dire condition and needs our support. We also support government and communities in managing migration effectively and responsibly. Today, IOM delivers humanitarian aid, as I've said, in more than 170 countries, and this strengthens national institutions. It supports and manages large-scale logistics and supply chain operations, and enables rapid response to the crisis worldwide. I just would like also simply explain why we have chosen Thessaloniki, because this concept of creating humanitarian logistics hub, or as we call supply chain management center, is not a new concept to humanitarian world. It is something that has been already introduced about 20 or 25 years ago. The largest one currently is in Copenhagen, in Denmark, which is a fully robotic warehouse. There is no man inside, and this is something that really impressive engagement of the Danish government and the other partners that are operating with humanitarian sector. The second largest one is currently placed in Dubai, within the Dubai Humanitarian City, and it is managed by interagency consortium led by WFP. This also represents quite a strong base for humanitarian supply chains, and it makes a very big difference for those people that are in need. Thessaloniki was chosen for several reasons, and the main of the reason is obviously geographic location, because historically it was representing crossroad of the commerce and the dynamic hub connecting Europe, the Balkans, and beyond. But of course, we also took into consideration the proximity with the disaster-prone areas such as Gaza, Syria, Iraq, and the North African countries, where you can simply calculate the efficiencies of the operations because of the proximity and of the cost of the humanitarian aid that we are shipping on a daily basis. Second reason was the availability of the host country agreements. We had a long time presence in Greece. This is one of the strongest missions in the organization, and we consider that the staff levels, the capacity, the education, the preparedness, the professionalism really assured our strength in this country, and the criterion for selecting Thessaloniki was more interested rather than sort of looking for other locations. Not mention the also the availability of the universities, the very well representing the students that we might later on, once we develop or increase our operations in country and outside beyond, we might also need the very professional and educated staff. So as you might know better than me, English is widely spoken in the country, and there is no problem of communicating or leading the business. And the last point was political and economic stability, although we are now still in a testing mode of how to make best of the import-export procedures. So far, the government has really committed themselves to provide us simplified customs clearance procedures. We had just few shipments so far arriving. We have not experienced any problem so far. We hope this will remain in that way, and we will basically will do all our best also to expand our activities. So what is our plans now? To give you the little bit of snapshot what we are requiring, what kind of services. My colleagues will elaborate this more into the details, and we will also give you some kind of information how to register with us, what kind of requirements are there, what are the processes, what kind of commodities or services we require. But to give you some snapshots, we can tell you that still IOM remains in Greece among the UN agencies the largest organization. That only for 2024 we have spent about $30 million worth the procurement, and we as a among the UN agencies are, as I said, the first by the procurement capacities in the country. Obviously, it is not enough because Greece has more potential. Currently, it takes 68th place among the all UN suppliers, and it is the share is about 0.3% of the global UN procurement. So obviously, we have there plenty of work to do to increase the statistics, and I believe that the local capacities production, the availability of the local companies will make sure that our work will contribute to the growth of local economy. The next point that I would like to share with you is that we within the UN agencies are by the volume of the procurement number 6 But when it comes to the purchases of core relief items, which is necessary for life-saving operations, we are the largest among the all UN agencies. And we later on will give you, during our presentation, how this statistics works out, how to give you more appetite or more snapshots what we are up to. So I would like also to tell you that our great interest is to build, as I've said, very strong and effective capacities to partner with the local companies for a very simple reason that it is much better to have the companies that are at your hand that will provide the quality services, timely response. There is a possibility to visit the sites that we hopefully we will have also opportunity to visit some of your production facilities and to really evaluate what could be done, what could be improved, what kind of innovative approaches are there, and etc. So to cut it short, I would like to also encourage all of you to give us some kind of comments or share your thoughts or give us your suggestions, any comments you might have during this 2-hour session, and we will try also to respond as much as we can, taking into consideration that we are just starting our operations. Our premise is not yet ready. We are in the temporary facilities, but we expect within 4 or 5 weeks our facilities at the Hellenic Expo will be open, and then we will have an opportunity to host you all there. I would like also to take this opportunity to thank you all for present today, and I wish you a very productive and inspiring session.
Thank you very much, Lado. Before we proceed to our next speaker, and I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce you to the IOM Senior Procurement Officer, Mr. Vladimir Maslarov, who will deliver the first speech, and the head of the Emergency Supply Chain Management Unit, Mr. Nasir Altrakshi. Prior to that, I would like to say that the IOM, like all other international organizations, wishes to ensure through competitive bidding that the best value for money is achieved, as well as efficiency and transparency. And today's event was designed in order to familiarize Greek companies with the procurement procedures of IOM. So I'd like to pass the floor to Vladimir, and after that, you can come up with questions, and Vladimir will answer them. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you. So just for the participants, so hi, my name is Vladimir Maslarov. Just for the participants of the session, we will continue now with presenting the statistics, some of them that Lado also mentioned in his introduction and welcoming speech. We look at the statistic just for the companies to get an idea about the volume of purchases that IOM is doing, to look at the purchases that are locally done, and then we'll go into specific of what the supply chain center here in Thessaloniki needs, what are our expectations, and what we are looking at from the local companies, how they can partner and work with us. And then we'll talk about administrative procedures, where we will explain a little bit about procurement as a process, transparency, best value for money, and what are the different procurement methods so the companies can understand, how the procurement in IOM works. And then we'll go with the practical advice of how to register in our system, how to become visible in our system, to be able to participate global tenders, but also with the specific needs that we have here for Greece. I'll give the floor to my colleague Vlatko, who will tell us a little bit about IOM procurement in globally based on the annual statistic report, so the companies can get an idea of where is IOM among the other UN organizations in the UN system, and then based on the information they can decide, and further information that will be provided by Nasir, they can decide how to position themselves, how to learn about the system, how to learn about the procedures, and how to be part of the UN market and IOM market when we talk about procurement. Yeah. So thank you.
We will not take much time on this, just slides and for future reference for you, where on the UN procurement website you can find this statistic. When you see annual statistic report or procurement by category, these are links that you can use and see the whole UN procurement. So this is where IOM stands among UN agencies overall in the world. This is where IOM stands in Greece with Greek vendors. For example, as Lado mentioned, we are very high in procurement from Greece, thanks to existing Greece mission, IOM Greece mission, and the activities that they are doing. And this is where you can see where Greek vendors stay within the whole UN system. The UN agencies are buying from Greek vendors. This is just a short summary of overall IOM procurement, this 1.7 billion of the goods and services, but also the other businesses that are related to implementing partners and grants that are coming up to 2.2 billion overall for IOM. 24, we deal with 25,000 vendors. 25 was a bit lower year in the procurement spending because of the cut of the fundings, but it didn't affect very much our operations in Greece, for example. Even these are the fresh figures in Greece. We had a bit of increase because of the European funding, and then how the mission works. And you can see that out of 56 million spending, 47 million are solely from providers from Greece. And this is in general what are the categories and our top categories and works and services that we are, and top categories of goods that we are buying. Saying this, I will leave you straight to my colleague Nasir, that deals with global prepositioning network and why we are here, and he will introduce you to the catalog and the needs.
Thank you. Okay. Good day, everyone. This is Nasir Al-Trakchi, and I'm heading the Emergency Supply Chain Unit. In another word, I'm the one who's coordinating the supply and demand pipelines for the emergency operations in IOM. So, to be honest, we are so glad to have you here. We are waiting for this moment for some time now. I will start briefing you quickly for a few things before we get to the point, which is the catalog. So, in few words, in IOM, as Lado said, there is mandate. There are 4 folders. Some of them related to resettlement, some of them related to refugee programs, internally displaced people program, migration management program, and the emergency programs. Emergency, those crisis situations where something related to war and conflicts or natural disaster, flooding, earthquake, or epidemic, like Ebola or COVID, if you may remember. So in this situation where people are forced to leave their houses and households, and they end up having nothing. So in that situation, the UN, among other UN agencies, they come to provide humanitarian assistance. And IOM mandate in that particular part is many things. So the supply chain has many significant functions when it comes to emergency. We move people, we move cargo, and we move cash. It depends on the scenario. So this meeting here today is about moving cargo. So in a crisis situation, what we used to do, we used to buy and we ship, we distribute. But it tends to be that this is an old scenario and it is sometimes getting late. So, and in emergency, you know, when people are homeless, they have nothing, speed is what matters. So we upgraded our strategy a little bit. We started buying in advance, pre-positioning them in strategic locations, and we get ready. And the minute that there is emergency happening anywhere, we just send immediately. So before we were buying and sending, today we are just sending. So it means that we are halfway. So today IOM has like close to 40 hubs throughout the globe. There are 3 types of categories. Some of them 100% IOM warehouses, like the one in Thessaloniki here. Some of them United Nations joint warehouses. And some of them, they belong to the suppliers that we work with. So we buy from them, we ask them to keep it there with them for some time. They manage it for us. So these are the 3 types of pillars we have. And today we have like 38, close to 40 different hubs globally. If you look at the map here, you will see the high concentration where you see in South Asia. It's in China, Pakistan, India. Why is that? It's because each and every time we launch a tender, global tender, these guys whom they win our bids because of they have the best prices, acceptable quality. They are very fast in terms of production and manufacturing. Besides, they give us free of charge warehousing facilities where we can pile up our stock. So now, emergencies throughout the globe, it's not happening only in Asia. They are happening elsewhere. So look at the Middle East and North Africa region. It's all famous with wars and conflicts throughout the last couple of decades. So we would like to change this tactic a little bit and shift closer to this region so we can be faster. Again, speed, what matters in this formula. So as Lado said, we were looking at multiple options, and Greece won this option for obvious reasons, strategic location, good. Lado was referring to all these. And even the government, they gave us free of charge warehouse facility for that purpose. However, this is not the end of it. We still need more support to have this ending with a successful result, which is the help of the private sector. And that's why what you are here today for. So why do we need the private sector here in Greece? So we need companies and manufacturers whom they are providing us the supplies that we need. We need service providers whom they transport them locally and internationally. We need service providers for custom clearance, loading, offloading, labor, insurance, and name it. The list is a bit long. So a few months ago, we started launching tenders for these requirements, and the result we were getting is not really quite of interest. So we were redoing them, same result. Third round, we did also publish, same result, unfortunately. So we come up to the idea that let's call for such kind of conference or forum in order to gather all the companies whom they are interested and can support in this endeavor. So that's why we are all here and we are trying to have some successful results out of this. So this slide in front of you was talking about our global stock locations, and we can move next now. This slide is just quickly talking about our movement for last year, 2025. What did we do? So we have like more than 100 suppliers whom they are feeding these 38 hubs, and these hubs whom they are feeding like maybe 10 emergency operations. If you see, they are marked over there: Sudan, Mozambique, DRC, Gaza, Ukraine, Bangladesh, Haiti. So last year, those are the main consumption, let's say, points whom they are receiving our consignments because of the frequent or recurrent and fresh emergencies happening all the time in these countries. So this is just quickly an overview of what we have done last year. Well, we talk about millions of dollars in terms of goods, in terms of transportation, warehousing, you name it. It's a if you see the spider network is quite heavy and mega. So now we move next to the main point of this discussion, which is the catalog. Now, the items that we need throughout our operation, it's quite very long and exhaustive list. We cannot just list it all here, but we are going to focus only on the main 15 items that we use most probably in each and every emergency, which is again within the mandate of IOM. These are we call core relief items. These are the non-food items, shelter materials, wash materials, sanitation materials. We call it all together CRI, core relief items. So starting quickly with the top item that we always need, which is called tarps. These are the standard sheets we always need for emergency shelter, either for roof or sides or for grounds. The standard item is 4x6 in terms of size, made of laminated high density polyethylene, and the weight should not be less than 170 grams per square meter, should be fully waterproof and sustainable, can take months in terms of usage, can sustain harsh weather and heavy rain and heavy wind and so forth. So that's one of the most important items. IOM procures and distributes millions of those per year. Okay, so that's item number one. Item number two is the same type of the tarp, but the size is longer. That one was 4x6, this one 4x60. It's the same type, same material, literally, only the size is different. This one is used for larger buildings. It's for offices, for hospitals, for schools. That one basically for families, and this one is more for bigger institutions. So these are the, I would say, number one item that we distribute a lot of these. We're talking about sleeping mat. This one is used for emergency shelter, again, to provide insulation from cold and humid grounds. The size is for a single person, 1.8 by 0.9, made of virgin, but we accept both material here. Call it virgin and recycled polypropylene. Virgin is the first time used material, fresh, and the recycled. Okay, so by the way, you do not need to take any notes here. We are going to distribute all these materials for you, so you don't need to bother. I'm just quickly telling you the most important specs that we have to comply with, because these are standard technical specs. These are UN global standard technical specs. It's not only IOM. Okay, we cannot just divert, not for a millimeter from these specs. So yeah, so that's why it is very important, because it is standardized. Even the donor, they are giving us money in order to go and do responses in emergencies. They also come and check on this, whether we complied with these specs or not. And if we are not, then it will be disqualified. It will be a story behind this. So that's why these specs are very, very important to be complied with. These are the minimum acceptable quality specs that we can talk about. So you will see those always the minimum in our tenders. So sleeping mat was one of these items. Kitchen sets, that's another item, very important one. This is needed for emergency household use, for cooking, for serving, for storing. And all these components should be made of food-graded stainless steel and durable, hygienic, that can last for months in the camps. Has to be really heavy duty. We talk about now jerry cans. This is for drinking water storage and dispensing. Okay, this has to be food graded. The standard is 10 liter, and there is also 20 liter, depends on the context of the operation, and has to be also from low density polyethylene, and has to be robust and can sustain also months being used in the camps or in the field. We have also the bucket. There are two types. This one 20 liter, and this one 14 liters. So this is again this is more for washing water. That one for drinking, this is more for washing. But sometimes they also use it for drinking, depends. So again, heavy duty and high graded density polyethylene, and should be robust and sustainable for long-term use in the camps. We talk about sometimes these materials should sustain for 6 months in the field. That's the minimum, let's say, emergency lifetime we always aim. Okay, so we have now we talk about the blankets. Blankets, we have 3 types. We have the heavy one, we call it high thermal blankets. This one we use in the very, very cold areas. That's 10 degrees and below, okay? So it's always single size. We talk about 500 grams per square meter, 9 millimeter thickness. And then we have the medium thermal. This is used between 10 to 20 degrees areas. And this one is a little bit less in terms of quality than the other one. Again, single, but this one 400, not 500 gram per square meter, and the thickness is 6.5. And we have the last one, which is the low thermal. This is for warm region, like 20 and above degrees. And this one is a bit light. It's 200 grams per square meter and 3.5 thickness. So these are the main three types of blankets we normally procure, preposition, and distribute. Now we move to the other item, number 11, which is the solar lamps. These are used for emergency lighting and for households and community spaces. And these are portable devices. They are charged either by solar panels, this one in the photo, or by 220 volt inlet. So the most important part of this one is that there are degrees, the lower degree and the high degree. Lower degree should be 8 hours minimum working without power. And when you make it the lowest degrees should be 20 hours lasting per charge, okay? That's the most important technical specs about this that we can accept. It should be water resistant, should be durable, all these standard specs. Next item is the mosquito nets. This one mainly we use in Africa, South America. This one is just to ensure effective protection from insects for the household members. So it has to be WHO certified, has to be long-lasting, chemically treated. The size of it, it's right in front of you, 1.9, 1.5, 1.8, so it's like cubicle. So the next item is, we call it non-food items bag. This one is where we gather all these items we distribute to the affected families. We put them all inside this bag. There's another made of tarp. It's 100 centimeter by 100 centimeter size. It can lift 30 kilograms. And the specs is right in front of you. Next, we have the shelter toolkit. This one is, we use it for small repairs, for assembling the shelters, for minor construction works, whatsoever. It's normal tools. It has to be all made from stainless steel, anti-rust or rust resistance materials. It has to be in a either heavy-duty plastic bag or in a tool, what do you call, metal toolbox. And the last item are the tents. These are the family tents. These are mainly for the shelter for the families. It has to have at least minimum 8 people can accommodate in this one. The size has to be like 4.5 radius or 4.5 by 4.5 if it is square. The height should be 2.5, the peak, and the weight of the material of the top shouldn't be less than 500 grams per square meter. And again, has to be withstand all the extreme weather condition, high wind, high rain, heavy rain, and all this, even snowy area, supposed to withstand all these harsh environment. Because this one we expect from it to last not 6 months, even more. So this is all in all the 15 items that we are aiming to have from the local market here to support our endeavor. And so what we are going to do is that we are going to relaunch all these tenders that we have done recently. And we hope that we will get a much better or more of an interest pool of applicants and bidders, so we can have some better result here. And for this one, we are really aiming the local market here in Greece. We do not need anything outside Greece because we have our own global LTAs. We have a good pool of global LTAs, and we are really sufficient in this part. What we are aiming here is the local market only. Local suppliers, local manufacturers, everything local. Yes, raw material can be brought from outside, but the manufacturing itself, the production of the material that can be used has to be only done from within Greece. This is in order to also support with boosting the local economy here in Greece, that it is one of our main objectives here. I will stop right there. I think I talked too much already, so
Thank you, Nasir. Just to explain one thing what Nasir mentioned, LTS long-term agreements, aside of the global prepositioning network, we have number of global long-term agreements which are established with the companies who are selected and can provide and supply us with the commodities that Nasir was explaining, but also any other commodities or services that we buy on a regular basis. So the list of the items that Nasir, once again to mention and to point out, those are priority items for us here in the context of the supply chain center in Thessaloniki, and looking at the possibility with the local manufacturers, with the local companies to work together in supplying us with this type of products. We are not limited also to hear ideas, innovations from the local companies about any other products or any other products that you are developing or you might have supplied to the other UN agencies. So we would like to learn also from you. It's not just you to learn from us, also we to learn from you. What is your experience, or what are the opportunities that you can offer to us, to partnership, to discuss any possibility to work with you, to work with local universities, because we should not stop just with the prepositioning long-term agreements, but the idea is to continue collaborating with the local institutions here. We will give a space for questions now, because
I think Alexandra can explain how to register.
we are coming to that one. Theodoros and Stavrola, if there are any questions, because we don't see here the chat, or if
Yes,
anyone.
well, yes, I have asked the participants to raise any questions or raise their hands, but I haven't seen any.
They should not be shy, because we have enough Greek speakers attending here.
Yes.
Alexandra is our colleague from Geneva. So I will encourage, if there are any particular questions to what we presented now with introduction, with why we are here, what is our objective, what is our goal and vision with Supply Chain Center, also with the statistics that we presented, because there are two aspects of the things. One is what we do as a Supply Chain Center, but also we would like to encourage the local companies to start working with the UN community and also with IOM globally. So this is a good opportunity to look at different aspects of collaboration and exploring the opportunities for working together with IOM, the Supply Chain Center, and also the other UN agencies.
I don't know if Mrs. Poutakidou is with us. I'm sure she is. Perhaps she would like to add some, some points regarding her cooperation with IOM as a supplier. I mean,
we have Irini raising hand, so I guess you feel free to join us.
Okay. Well, I can't see any questions submitted. There you are. Okay.
Should we unmute her?
Well, I have asked her to unmute herself.
Am I unmuted?
Yes.
Good evening to everybody. Thank you very much for this opportunity, for clarifying the project of Thessaloniki. I don't have many questions. Many things are very clear to us for the past 10 years working with IOM, locally and regionally, let's say. We'll try our best in this scope of business to cooperate with the specifications, the logistics, and also the scope of business of this warehouse in Thessaloniki, because it's very important for Greek companies, and especially companies based in the city or around the city, to have these global opportunities in the area. I don't have any questions because we have followed as a company all these procurement and recent procurement sessions. We'll move forward with you and try to do our best.
Yeah. Can I ask? Thank you very much. Can I ask, because you mentioned 10 years you've been working at this with IOM. What is your experience, just to share with the other participants, what is your experience? What are the common challenges, let's say, to start working with organizations like ours or any other UN organization? What are the challenges? Because I'm sure the other companies who try, maybe they experience the same challenges, because we do this type of events very often, so I will talk later more about it, and what I'm hearing from other companies, but if you can share from your perspective, what you would advise to the other companies, yeah?
Well, from our experience, we started working with IOM back in 2016. Then the challenges in Greece were huge with all this income and emergency situation, which is not an issue today. The challenges were that we had to deliver at site in the specific camps assigned by the ministry and the military. We had to distribute. We had to, comply with the international specifications of IOM. This was a huge challenge for us at that time. And even during COVID period, when we delivered food parcels, then it was also a very big challenge for us. In general, I would say that the communication with the Greek office was very fruitful. I mean, it was strict, very professional, and we knew what we had to do. And it was very clear to us what IOM wanted and how we would respond, even in periods of huge pressure. The main challenge from my perspective is that since we have been working with international organizations, UN organization, is to adjust to the requirements. Supplying general stuff might be easy for a Greek company, but supplying specific products for specific needs based on specific specifications might be a big challenge. This is my approach. And then we had also experience with other IOM offices in very turbulent times. We delivered in Ukraine, and then we also had an issue with the logistics, mainly the logistics, not the product themselves. And in general, if a company wants to start working with IOM, has to know that life is not very easy. Business is not very easy. It's not a B2B procedure. It's a B2org procedure. So it might be challenging. Yet I have to say that we learned a lot from the international procurement and procedures. And our company was benefited from all this structure and communication.
Thank you very much. That's what we hear also in other similar events. That we are demanding. We have specifications. Yeah, Nasir was talking and explaining the specifications, and therefore I think it's important for the Greek companies, depending on what type of goods or services they are offering, to learn a little bit about what is our demand, to go on the annual statistical report of UN, to look at the different type of contracts, to look at the different type of global long-term agreements, and to find specific to their job, to their expertise, and to learn a little bit about what is the demand and how they could
fit in,
how they could respond to the demand. Communication, you mentioned with office as a positive thing, that we are very clear. Yeah, we try and we are always open, direct to the companies. We do create pressure due to the work in which due to the environment in which we operate. Yeah, as Nasir said, Lado also mentioned emergencies around the world. We are responding. There is a demand from our offices, from our missions, which creates all that pressure. And therefore, we think it's always important to be objective in what a company can do. Yeah, because if the company succeeds in the first contract, in the first delivery, then we put that in our records, and we always relying on those companies who are delivering on the promises, delivering on the specification, on the time, and everything that is in the contract. Adjust to the requirements you mentioned. I mentioned also supply to specific needs. Other offices you mentioned, because we also mentioned this is about supply chain center in Thessaloniki, working with the local companies, but also give opportunities to the companies to access the global market of IOM. Yeah, not specifically because IOM is very decentralized organization. What we do here as an emergency support is only one package, only one stream. But also our offices around the world are at the liberty to do tenders and to buy goods, services, and works for the needs of the specific projects and activities. As you mentioned, you work in Ukraine, but also companies can explore the possibilities, maybe offering goods and services to our offices. You did not mention one thing, the documentation, or maybe you mentioned somewhere, but I would like to point it out. Yeah, that is, what was your experience with the paperwork and documentation? Yeah, because sometimes we hear from companies, they're saying, there is so much to read, there are so many documents, but our answer is, once you get familiar, those are standard terms and conditions that should not worry you about signing contract with us, about participating in a tender, but to get familiar with those conditions and knowing that you can deliver on the conditions in the contract, nothing to be worried that you might end up not being paid or you might end up being delayed. Yeah. Do you have any experience with, what is your experience with the paperwork and the documents?
As far as the paperwork required for the participation and the bidding, we didn't face any problems or any challenges because all required documents are available for our company. Collecting them maybe takes some time, but it's not something exceptional. Main problem we faced during our cooperation was the VAT exemption, because it's clear that IOM is exempted from VAT and duties and taxes. And for the deliveries in the Greek territory, at a point our company faced a huge challenge because of the delay of the VAT exception documents receipt. And this caused a huge problem for our cash flow.
Yep.
At the point, it was sorted out, but still it's an issue because IOM is international, benefits from VAT exception and duties exemption. Yet when a Greek company delivers to a Greek VAT, IOM VAT, then it's considered domestic sale. And for this reason, the VAT was a huge challenge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Note taken on that, and thank you for mentioning the VAT. We are exempted from that, and we will specify this in the new tender documents that will come out, and we'll make sure that it works positive on the side of the suppliers that will work with us, so there are no delays. Because I think in the introduction speech we did not mention that IOM Greece mission is separate from supply chain center here. Yeah, so these are two separate things. So we have a global function. We don't do the local work of the mission that is doing here, and there might be some differences there when it comes to VAT. Although our office here in the center is exempted from VAT. One thing to mention, with the paperwork and the documentation. The difference between 2016 and now 2026, 10 years after, we have an online system, yeah? So that's something new that we have, digitalization with online system, which we believe that it will work in the benefit of the companies, that they can receive and have access to the documents and to information online. It will be much easier, let's say, for communication and coordination also, and access to the documentation. I think, yeah, Lado wanted to mention something.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Eleni, for this, your active participation, and also for your long-time loyalty to our organization. And it's very great to see that you are sharing all your experience with us. It's really, really, I highly appreciate it. Now, you mentioned about the VAT problems. We are aware about this, but please note that last year, we have signed new host country agreement with the Greek government, which completely changes environment of the business lead in the vis-a-vis our activities in Greece. That means that we are tax exempted from the very beginning, as opposed to the previous transactions when we had to pay the VAT and later to receive the reimbursements. Now we are from the onset exempted from this, and I think it will be very helpful for the Greek companies to engage with us. This issue will not be any longer the issue. Although we did not have much of testing time for this, but so far, since we are here since September last year, we have not experienced any problem. But if we have now the focal point in the Ministry of Economy and Finance, as well as here in Thessaloniki, to immediately address those issues that are related to the VAT exemptions and any other duties. Hope this clarifies.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, we saw the question there in the chat. Yeah, so
Yes.
we are discussing, we will answer it. What I wanted to offer to the companies that are online, if any of them has, let's say, is a shy or has difficulties to speak English, they can speak in Greek. Yeah, we have enough staff here around to translate for us and to make the conversation. Yeah,
and write in Greek as well.
Write in Greek or come out and speak in Greek. Ask if there are questions for this part of the presentation. Feel free to raise hand and to join the discussion, or to write a question in Greek language. Yeah, feel free.
We have two questions in English, though.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the first question that I read from here, I don't need glasses yet. Nasir was asking me whether I can read. I have to say that I can see the question from here because the screen is far away from us. Company is asking, can we participate to do business with you and make offers as an accredited and assigned trade intermediary for these commodities of the local companies that you ask for? The answer is yes. If you have been appointed by the local manufacturers to offer commodities which are locally manufactured, yes, you can offer and be the company who will represent the manufacturer. Because based on our experience, let's say I'll take country like Indonesia, big manufacturers, they don't have time to go and to submit offers. They have appointed local suppliers, traders, companies who are doing all the paperwork and then doing business. Country to country is different. The idea, the main decision or the main reason for a company to represent a manufacturer should be the justification that they're appointed as accredited supplier who will offer the goods or services that the manufacturer is offering. So the answer is yes. I cannot see. Let me just try our colleagues to. Okay. Good evening to everyone. Kalispera. Okay. Besides the offers we are about to make to do business with you, I would like to ask about the printing IM logo of every kind of commodities we see it in the photo. Is it the obligatory of a supplier into the obligation of the supplier to work with you?
Yes.
Sorry?
Not always. No.
Okay. So yes, as you can see, the preposition commodities has IRM logo. In some cases, in some instances, logo might not be printed if they are general commodities which does not require specific logo. Yes, on most of our commodities there is a logo. Sometimes there might be a donor logo, so there are different situations. There is nothing that is obligatory, but again depends on the tender, depend on what we are buying, depend on many circumstances. So not always is obligatory to have a logo, but yes, most of the commodities are with our logo. Is there any other question?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so only these two questions. Okay, so
We also provided our contact details last slide.
on the last slide,
In the
yeah.
future, somebody would like to ask anything.
Okay, so we can continue then with the next slide on the presentation.
Maybe somebody would like to just ask a question, you know. Like,
If anyone is on the call from the attendees,
No,
no one.
no,
Okay.
no questions. So we can move. We can move. Yeah.
Okay, we can move on the next part of the presentation, which is related how to do business with IOM. Yeah, so we were giving an introduction part of what is IOM, what we do, what is the supply chain center here. So now just a summary. Yeah, IOM globally procures a variety of products, vehicles, core relief items, telecommunication equipment, IT equipment, services, hardware, software, visibility materials, so office supplies, equipment, furniture, household supplies, also equipment, furniture, mobile storage unit, consulting services, construction-related works, tools, materials. Yeah, so this is just a snapshot of different items that not just items, but also type of goods, works, and services that we buy globally. Yeah, so this is globally. In the statistics, you will be able to see specific categories, specific products, you know, as what is the volume. You can see also the countries, the missions where they were purchased. You can see origins from where they came also. So you can get better idea of our demand. Yeah. On the next slide. Oh, it's me. Okay, I've been given the control here. I just realized how, yeah. Okay, what do we need in Greece? As Nasir explained, yeah, specific to the 15 core relief items that he pointed out, yeah, because that was important for us to give you as a first message, as a snapshot of what we will most probably keep in the storage here, part of the global prepositioning network and the emergency response that we keep here, part of this global network. Some of you mentioned, we mentioned in the beginning, value for money, competitive prices, and product quality. Yeah, that's very important. What are the solutions that you have available? Because we talk about transportation. If I'm not mistaken, we did 1-2 tenders for logistic services. Nasir can remind me. Was it one tender for global logistics services? We did not find any companies who global here. The tender.
Yeah, we did 2 times.
We did 2 times. You know, there was no response. You know, so we are looking for companies who can provide logistics services also, even globally. Innovative products, solutions, recycling. Because Nasir was showing the tarpaulins as a #1 items that we purchase globally, millions of pieces. More and more companies who manufacture the tarpaulins coming with a solution of using recycling materials, with the blankets also production and using recycling materials. So it is important for us to know that if any of the manufacturing facilities here that can offer this type of products can also offer innovative solutions, recycled materials that are used in production of the commodities that we are going to buy. Again, the summary here with the core relief items, international transport services, land, air, sea, domestic custom clearance, other logistics services, warehouse handling services, insurance services. This is the scope of what we see now, what we are going to need in the supply chain center here in Thessaloniki. Going to the next slide, which is related to procurement itself, procedures, documents, and threshold. Just to give a snapshot of information which we think are important for the companies to understand the thresholds in procurement and how IOM works, with the three basic solicitation methods, up to $300,000. The first one, request for quotation, used for goods, services, and works. Invitations are sent directly to registered suppliers. Sometimes we are posting also the request for quotation on the website, so they are visible. Why I'm mentioning this? Because if you are a registered supplier with IOM in the system, you will be able, depending on what type of goods, services, and works you are offering, and where you are offering, in which countries, in which part of the world, our procurement colleagues will be able to send you a request directly. So therefore, I'm mentioning this, that is very important that each company who is interested to work with us to register in our system, to be able to have access to tenders, to opportunities, but also to be contacted directly from our colleagues. Procurement documentation and requirements in the last column, standard conditions and requirements and contract. So this is I would say, the simplified procurement method, which use standard terms and conditions of contract, usually issued through purchase order, and the conditions of contract are very basic. Then there are the other two solicitation methods: invitation to bid, used for purchases estimated cost equal $300,000 and above, and invitation to bid and request for proposal. So this is for all tenders which we advertise on our website, as well as the UNGM portal of tenders, which use little bit more advanced condition and requirements, and use different type of contract, which is supply agreement, construction agreement, and service agreement. For the request for proposal, usually use service agreement. Why I'm mentioning this information here? Because usual challenge we see with the companies is the documentation paperwork until they get familiar with it. Because let's say one standard contract is it the construction agreement, supply agreement, usually has 10 pages of condition of the contract, and which sometimes, or the RFP or ITB is a document of 25 to 30 pages, which looks many companies look not surprised, but it's a challenging to get familiar with the terms and conditions there. Therefore, it's important that each company willing and ready to work with us to get familiar with the templates of contract that we have. And then it will be much easier when you're participating in a tender to see what are the variable information in on each of the standard documents, which are changing, and what are the conditions which are not changeable in the contract. So getting familiar with the administrative documents and the standard provisions there is very important as a first step when you start participating in tenders. So this is a snapshot just to understand what are the thresholds in the tenders, in the process of procurement, where and how we advertise and share information or send invitations to the companies. What's next? Our advice is that each of you visit our global web page, which is business opportunities for the companies who want to work with IOM, where you will find information about contract, about ongoing tenders, and also specific procurement opportunities. All tenders that we publish are available there. You'll be able to see where, which country, what was the requirements. You'll be able to download also sample of the documents which were posted, so you can read and you can get familiar with the standard templates of tender documents that we have. There is a possibility there also to contact us to report available stocks, innovations, what your company can offer to us, because it's not just what we are asking, but if you have any idea, if you have anything that you would like to offer to IOM, you can do it there. There is an email address given. Another option is that you go also to UNGM website where annual statistic report is available, where you can see global procurement opportunities, not specific to IUM, but global UN organizations, what are the opportunities there? And as I said, you know that you can send questions, comments, complaints to dedicated email address there. So in the context of this discussion here, what we thought is important to talk with you and to explain is how to register your company with our system. Yeah, at the same page, you will be able to start the registration of your company, going to specific section where you will need to dedicate one email address of your company, of your staff who will be doing the registration of your company. So this is a standard process which we require to submit set of documents and information where the system will go through some verification process to give you a full access to the profile that you are going to create there. Once the profile of your company is created, the work doesn't stop there. You will have a visibility of what's going on in IOM. You will have a visibility of what are the additional documents and information, or selecting different goods and services that your company can offer. We can see them there under your profile. Also, the profile will serve for you to be able to submit invoices for the contracts that you have finished, and also the same to monitor the status of the invoice, not of the invoice, of the invoices, yes, what is the status of the payment, but also you'll be able to monitor the solicitations or tenders that you have participated, and what was the decision, and whether your company has been awarded any of the tenders. Important to prepare as a documents is to have company legal documents available when you're registering your company, such as taxpayer ID or tax registration of your company, business license or government registration certificates for the company. If individuals are registering, you know, their business as a consultants or as a small businesses, you know, ID cards, yeah, then bank certificate containing information about standard information, IBAN code, account name holder, and so forth and so on. So these are the standard set of documents that you have to have ready, which needs to be uploaded under your company profile. I will go on the next slide, and I'll stop here to hear whether there are any questions at this stage of what we presented with the company registration. Go back. Okay, we go back. Mr. Theodoros, are there any questions there, or?
No, from what I can see, no.
No questions.
Either we've been very clear or we've been very sophisticated. Huh? Now, please don't be shy. You know, it's our interest to really engage you, in any of you who are interested in dealing business with us. And we also hope that Thessaloniki community of the commercial entities are to be benefit from this, as well as us. As for us, it's much easier to deal with the businesses that are locally available. We don't need to go to 100 kilometers away or thousands of kilometers away and find out the things. So if there are any kind of offers to visit your production facilities or your offices, we are also open to that opportunities. If you really would like also to see those materials, the samples, we can also offer that. And we are welcome to any of your thoughts, any offers that you might have. Because once again, this is a very well tested internationally. What we are talking is not a novelty for humanitarian world. Just for the comparison, of course, we are far away from it, but only in Copenhagen, the United Nations collaboratively is bringing about $1 billion per year, the business. Same applies to a little bit less, but in United Arab Emirates. So we have a good chance to start, and I'm sure, at least in the perspective to come close to that figure with your active participation to make sure that the companies that are locally available with the strength, with the reliability, with quality, we can achieve this mutually, this target. So that's why I would like to really hear your thoughts, if it's something that you can consider, or maybe we have to go beyond of Thessaloniki and look to the other places. So, but obviously we prefer to deal locally, because one of the options for us and selecting Thessaloniki was this, that we had a very conducive business environment. There is a strong support from the government and commitment. There is a very good support from the respective ministry, and we are also thanking you, the Chamber of Commerce, for taking a very active part in it. But we really would like your engagement. So alone we are nobody here, So, so if there is no participation, we have to close this hub and go somewhere else.
We thank you for coming. What I would like to add is that for newcomers, it takes some time to familiarize with the jargon. I mean, it happens with all international organizations, with the procedures on procurement and so on. So they have to be persistent. I advise them to get registered at your website, so that they will get the offer, the notices regarding up to 300,000 procurement notices, and then be patient and persistent. That's my advice.
Yeah, I would like also to highlight that, right now, as it stands, we have more than 748 Greek suppliers registered in our database.
Good.
So it's not a kind of something new that we are inventing hot water here. So these companies already managed to be registered, but our particular emphasis are on local production capacities, local suppliers, because for us it's a win-win situation. Of course, it also includes not only goods delivery, but as my colleagues already mentioned, the services like freight services, provision of labors, provision of some other type of things, consultancies, and etc. So it's not only goods, So maybe some of the participants will find here some matching areas of the business activities. And again, I know that English is widely spoken in Thessaloniki, but we still have here Greek colleagues that speak the same language, same terminology, so this should not be a problem if anything is unclear or needs to be further elaborated.
If I can call just Alexandra, just in Greek in Greek language, to tell the companies about the registration and the portal. Yeah, just once again to give that message, because as Mr. Theodoros says, that's the first thing to do now. And then at the end, we will give also the contact details of where the companies can contact us and get additional information after this meeting. And the plan is also to continue with this type of platforms, events, even maybe if possible in person, to invite for a seminar for a couple of hours presentation, where we'll have first-hand opportunity to talk with the companies and to explain them a little bit more what we are working. As Lado says, this is just the first step. It's nothing new. We are not inventing anything, but it's the first and most important step now in the process of us establishing better relationship with companies that maybe we never work with in Greece. Alexandra is just about the registration, just to explain once again, visiting the website and what they need to do there. Yeah, so if
and I can make a quick recap.
Yes.
In Greek also.
Yes, in Greek, only in Greek, yeah.
Καλησπέρα σε όλους. Συγγνώμη για τα ελληνικά μου, γιατί συνήθως μιλάω στα αγγλικά σε αυτή τη δουλειά και είναι η πρώτη φορά που μιλάω στα ελληνικά για να παρουσιάζω κάτι τέτοιο. Βασικά, η παρουσίαση που έγινε σήμερα, φαντάζομαι ήδη έχετε ακούσει, αλλά για να είναι λιγάκι πιο ξεκάθαρο, Ο Διεθνής Οργανισμός Μετανάστευσης ήδη δουλεύει στην Ελλάδα και έχει μεγάλη παρουσία και συνεργάζεται με πάρα πολλές επιχειρήσεις. Αυτή τη στιγμή έχουμε ανοίξει το Supply Chain Center μας στη Θεσσαλονίκη, μόλις άνοιξε. Και ουσιαστικά θέλουμε να φτιάξουμε μια μεγάλη αποθήκη, τα λέω πολύ απλοποιημένα, μια μεγάλη αποθήκη που θα αποθηκεύσουμε διάφορα προϊόντα για να τα στέλνουμε σε παγκόσμιες αποστολές που τρέχουμε σε καταστάσεις επίγουσας ανάγκης. Ο βασικός στόχος αυτού του συνεδρίου είναι να έρθουμε σε επαφή με ελληνικές εταιρείες και ελληνικούς προμηθευτές, γιατί ένα από τα βασικά στοιχεία που δουλεύουν όλοι οι ανθρωπιστικοί οργανισμοί και τα Ηνωμένα Έθνη είναι όπου υπάρχει βάση να υποστηρίζουμε όλο και την τοπική οικονομία. Επομένως, δεν έχει πολύ νόημα να έχουμε τη βάση, να έχουμε φτιάξει μια μεγάλη βάση στη Θεσσαλονίκη και να φέρουμε όλα τα προϊόντα από άλλες χώρες, Ινδία κτλ. Αυτό που σκοπεύουμε αυτή τη στιγμή είναι να έρθουμε σε επαφή με τις ελληνικές εταιρείες και να προσπαθήσουμε να δημιουργήσουμε σχέσεις που θα μπορούμε να επιτύχουμε το να βοηθήσουμε την τοπική κοινωνία, να έχουμε καλύτερη επικοινωνία και συγχρόνως να βοηθήσουμε τις λειτουργίες μας και σαν Οργανισμό των Ηνωμένων Εθνών. Λοιπόν, και το κύριο κομμάτι είναι ότι άμα θέλετε να δουλέψετε μαζί μας, πρέπει να κάνετε εγγραφή στη πλατφόρμα μας που έχουμε. Στη παρουσίαση υπάρχει ένα link στη πλατφόρμα. Είναι πάρα πολύ εύκολο να κάνετε την εγγραφή. Δημιουργείτε ένα προφίλ και μετά πρέπει απλά να επισυνάψετε κάποια συγκεκριμένα αρχεία που τα γράφουν, είναι στην επιλογή σε ένα από τα slide, τα τελευταία που είδαμε. Εκεί πέρα απλά το μόνο που χρειάζεται είναι απλά να κάνετε την εγγραφή και από εκεί και πέρα το προφίλ σας θα υπάρχει σε όλες τις αποστολές παγκοσμίως του Διεθνού Οργανισμού Μετανάστευσης. Επομένως, απευθείας μπορείτε να κάνετε και παγκόσμιες δουλειές, να ανοίξετε και με άλλες αντιπροσωπείες, όχι μόνο με την ελληνική. Αυτό είναι το πιο σημαντικό. Βέβαια, επειδή όπως είπαν και οι συνάδελφοί μου, σκοπός είναι να δημιουργήσουμε συνεργασίες και να δούμε σε τι μπορούμε να βελτιστοποιήσουμε, δεν είναι μόνο, δεν είναι μόνο ότι εμείς ψάχνουμε συγκεκριμένα προϊόντα, είναι θέμα συνεργασίας. Άρα, ακόμα και άμα έχετε να προτείνετε κάποια innovative products ή κάποιες solutions, λύσεις σε αυτά που θέλουμε, μπορείτε απλά να επικοινωνήσετε μαζί μας. Υπάρχουν τα email αυτά που βλέπετε. Μπορείτε να μας στείλετε email και εντάξει, τώρα το κτίριο τώρα φτιάχνεται για το Supply Chain Center, είναι στη διαδικασία, αλλά μπορείτε να έρθετε σε επαφή και μαζί μας, να μιλήσουμε, δηλαδή γενικά είναι open door policy, μιλάμε, επικοινωνούμε με τους προμηθευτές, συζητάμε το πώς μπορούμε να βρεθούν λύσεις κτλ. Και φυσικά για το registration, για την εγγραφή στην πλατφόρμα μας, μπορείτε να επικοινωνήσετε μαζί μας. Είναι και το email μου εκεί πέρα και να συζητήσουμε αν έχετε κάποια δυσκολία τεχνική, αν δεν είστε σίγουροι για κάποιο έγγραφο. Όλα αυτά είναι πολύ εύκολα. Και γενικά συμβουλές το πώς μπορείτε να έρθετε σε επαφή και με άλλους διεθνείς οργανισμούς, γιατί το κομμάτι είναι ότι όλοι προσπαθούμε να συνεργαστούμε, γιατί όλοι προσπαθούμε να δώσουμε βοήθεια σε διάφορες χώρες που έχουν ανάγκη. Επομένως, όλο το κόνσεπτ είναι ότι βοηθάμε όλοι όλους για να δημιουργηθεί καλύτερη υποστήριξη στις χώρες που χρειάζονται ανάγκη. Τώρα, αν έχετε κάποια συγκεκριμένη απορία, μπορείτε να το γράψετε στο chat, μπορείτε να μιλήσετε απευθείας, να λύσουμε. Είναι και πιο εύκολο εδώ πέρα, γιατί ο ένας θα πει μια απορία, θα την ακούσει ο άλλος, επομένως είναι πιο εύκολο να μοιράζονται οι πληροφορίες παρά ένα-ένα. Αυτό, κατά τα άλλα, εδώ είμαστε εμείς και ευελπιστούμε να χτίσουμε με συνεργασία μεταξύ μας, γιατί πραγματικά αυτός είναι ο σκοπός μας, ότι θέλουμε να δημιουργήσουμε σχέσεις με τις ελληνικές εταιρείες.
Ευχαριστώ πολύ, Αλεξάνδρα.
Παρακαλώ.
Thank you for also encouraging the companies and explaining how to go to the portal, how to register, how to become visible, and to become part of the portal and to be visible not just to us but also to the other missions, to the other offices around the world. Here we'll continue working, and I think that our colleagues from the we can share the presentation with the companies where they will see the links they will see also the contact details, for any questions that they have on our side. Is it system related? Is it related to the global position in the network or any other general question? To encourage the communication, we put also our contact details there. Yeah, so at this stage, we would like to remain still open to encourage them to get more information and to explore the possibilities of working with us. Not to say, because procurement partnership, we use two terms. Yeah, we really want to partner with the local companies through procurement module, but also through any other opportunities that might raise locally. Yeah, so I will stop here because there are no other questions. Any last word, Lado, colleagues on our side?
Yeah, I would prefer if there are any questions that colleagues would like to pose, we'll be glad to respond. Just give a few minutes, those ones who are in doubt, and then we can close this meeting.
And if we have your permission, we can put it on our website for future use.
Yes, of course, yeah. Just one small addition that the registering in UN the global marketplace allows you to participate not only on IUM tenders, but also other UN agencies as you wish. Might be some companies, they find some other things, like there are medical items, there are some items that is related to IT or construction or whatsoever. So it opens a wide range of the activities. So our objective is to really make sure that Greek suppliers are represented there in a global list. I showed you that we are like Greece is 68 now. Among the 150 countries, 68 is not really good result. And Greek suppliers are representing 0.3% of the total UN purchases and spend. So this is not really something that Greece can be proud of. So therefore, I think we have a great opportunity here moving this list upper, and with your great help, we hope to overcome the things, and to make sure that the Thessaloniki will provide also some good assistance in terms of provision of the services, goods, as well as expertise in the various fields of the supply chain management that we all are striving for. So if that's all and there are no other questions, I would like Mr. Theodoros to thank you again for organizing this meeting. We all enjoyed interaction with you, although the questions we did not receive much, but hopefully we will get more encouraging words or actions from the colleagues that have participated on this interesting forum. And then we are also open to, if any of you are wishing to host us in your office or in your facilities, production, business areas, we are also glad to accept that offer, and we see how this cooperation will develop further. I think future should bring us some glory times, and we slowly will achieve whatever we have planned. Thank you once again, and wish you all the best.
Thank you, Lado. Thank you, Vladimir. Thank you, Nasir. And thank you, Alexandra. Thank you very much. And all of you that you have
from my side,
joined
please.
us.
If I may.
Yes, please.
We have great hopes out of this, great expectations. We have done our part coming here. The government done their part hosting us and giving us the facility here. Now it's the private sector to do their part.
Yes, yes, I agree with you. We'll do our best from our side.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Stavros, Theodoros.
Have a good evening.
Thank you, companies interested. Alexandra. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.